5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before. GabNet needs you. Yes, GabNet needs you to call our live programs and be a part of the citizen panels. It's the most innovative talk format yet because it's not just one caller, it's a group of callers interacting with the hosts at the same time. Here's how you do it. It's simple. First, download Skype at skype.com. To install it, answer 4 simple questions: first name, last name, email address, and your choice of ID. Then launch Skype, go to Add Contacts, type in GabNet Live, and ask to be made a contact. Then you're ready to be on the citizen panel. If you're too lazy, well, you can always call on the phone at 347-352-0079. That's 347-352-0079. For all the information and a call button for Skype, log on to gabnet.net. At the bottom of the page, you'll find a video on how to call us and how to use GabNet. It couldn't be easier. It couldn't be more fun and exciting. We're new. We're different. But we need you to call. So for crying out loud, call or we'll kill this dog. Don't worry, Fluffy. They won't let you die. I'm not kidding. Call or Fluffy gets it. Oopsie. You love GabNet. You love the hosts and the citizen panels. In fact, you wish you could take them wherever you go. On your computer, log on to gabnet.net, where our stream is available around the clock. On your TV, GabNet is available on Roku with the same around-the-clock stream, plus all the latest episodes of GabNet programs, old favorites, videos, and tons of celebrity interviews. When you're mobile, we're on your iPhone or iPad, with podcasts accessible via iTunes or Stitcher, and that same around-the-clock stream on TuneIn. If you don't want GabNet wherever you go, well, the hell with you. Go ahead, listen to your old-fashioned talk shows that do things in the same old predictable way. Meanwhile, the rest of us will be having fun listening to talk like you've never heard it before on GabNet.
Jack Bishop of GabNet's The Intersect. Tuesdays through Fridays at midnight Eastern Time. It's everything from what's going on with the new royal couple to what's happening with that grumpy old man in the Oval Office. Movies, music, old TV shows, you name it. From thoughtful discussions to out-and-out fights like my grandma would referee between my uncles. So from mild to wild, join me, Jack Bishop, Tuesdays to Fridays at midnight for The Intersection on GabNet Live. It's talk like you never heard it.
Hi everybody, this is Alex Bennett, and I've had a long and interesting trip. It's called life. And for years, people have demanded that I write a book about it, and while I've been a writer, my main talent has always been that of a broadcaster. Over a year ago, I decided not to write the book, but using my best skill, I decided to tell it. It's called Life in the Passing Lane, and I described it as an audio biography. It's presented in 30-minute chapters, so it's easy to binge listen. And you can access it on the GabNet page by clicking on Life in the Passing Lane and going to a page with every single episode, plus some extras. If you want to access it on your mobile device, that's easy too. It's on iTunes. It's Life in the Passing Lane, an audio biography by me. I'm Alex Bennett.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, hey everybody, how are you? I'm Alex Bennett, the Ramble. It goes on until midnight tonight on the East Coast of the United States, and we got a little treat for you. All right, here we go. It's time to make that call that we do every now and then. We do it out of a clear blue sky because he always likes to answer in a fun way. Here we go. Here we go. This guy takes forever.
You're 13 seconds late. Here at Proco, we do not tolerate such intolerance. I'm sorry, Mr. Bowleton. I'll be more pertinent next time. Hello?
All right, I was a little late getting going. Okay, all right.
It's okay. I'm watching the final episode of Family Affair where Buffy ODs in the bathroom and Jody goes through his fourth bitter divorce.
No, really? Okay. I was just watching. It's Stephen Pearl, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good to be back.
What I was watching was I've started watching Jeopardy because there is this.
Oh, with the Vegas guy who's making millions of dollars.
I mean, he is just amazing. The one I just watched was from a couple of days ago. In one day, he did $90,000.
Woo! He couldn't even make that much selling bro back in the day.
Now, Ken Jennings, who did like 100 and some odd episodes, right, to get him over a million, averaged, they say, $37,000 a day. This guy is averaging $71,000 a day.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And he's supposed
well, soon all his relatives will crawl out of the woodwork, and relatives he never knew he had. Hey, I don't know, buddy. We knew you could do it. Hey, could we borrow, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I'm about a day behind, so I don't know, but I think he beat the million. That's what I heard. And, I mean...
he has over. I haven't been watching it, but I've heard he made over $1 million so far. Yeah, so after taxes, it's probably like $150.
It's not that he's super smart. He's a professional gambler, by the way, from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I've been watching I've been watching his strategy, and his strategy is really interesting. What he does is he immediately goes for the highest number questions. The $1,000 or the $2,000 question, depending on whether it's Jeopardy or Double Jeopardy. And then he works his way up, okay? So he starts going for the big money first. And usually and then also, you can see he's got it really, if he doesn't even have an inkling of the answer, he doesn't buzz in. He doesn't buzz in. He doesn't take a chance on it. He doesn't take any chances.
Like he's playing poker, very, very calculated.
He definitely is playing poker, and I think this guy, this guy has learned how to game the system. Is what he's learned how to do. Is you go for those high numbers, you try and rack up high scores early. That, of course, makes the other people feel like shit. But this guy, I mean, $90,000 in one day, that's unheard of in Jeopardy.
It's insane, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's
a money-making machine, baby.
Yeah, so, do you know any professional gamblers now that you're in Las Vegas?
Oh, no, that's not part of my world. I just, when I'm in the casino, I just use the casino to walk through it to get to where the gig is, so... I do know a guy who's into poker. He's a photographer and a good friend, and I think he gambles a bit. He does okay, my friend David. So
how do you put up with the rugs in those casinos? Because
with the rugs,
because
I look up. Well, I'd rather walk into a wall than go cross-eyed following that pattern.
Well, the reason they're that way is to disorient the gamblers.
It's just very disoriented. That and all the sound, ding, 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 ding. It's like being at the circus. Huh?
You can't see the outdoors once you're inside.
Nope.
And also, there are no clocks on the walls.
No clocks. You better bring your Timex, folks.
You better bring your Timex. But I mean, those are the various things they do to disorient people.
That's
so
right.
that they will spend longer times because a gambler, once he starts gambling, loses all sense of time. So if there's a clock on the wall, he goes, "Oh, I've been gambling for 2 hours. That's enough."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I got to go home. It's time for breakfast. Yeah, I can't go clocks.
So they have this whole philosophy about how you scientifically get people to gamble and to lose actually as well. Of course, you're going to lose.
Pumping more oxygen, keep them awake.
You know, I mean, for the most part, you're going to lose because everything's on the house's side. The only person I ever knew that lost money with a casino was Donald Trump. You know, I mean, you just and how he lost money owning a casino, which is literally a license to steal, is beyond me. Except that he.
Well, I think his slot machines are giving away chocolate coins, so that's where he screwed up. They did it to me. I eat thousands of them a day. That's how I got my man boobies. If I like chocolate coins, everyone likes chocolate coins. I don't think so, though, Donald.
Yeah, well, I think that's what he's used for money in his career.
Yeah. Hey, these chocolate coins bounce.
Yeah, chocolate coins.
Donald's lucky chocolate coins.
Yeah.
Don't try to make change in the summertime with a handful of goo, which is what his father should have ended up with.
Now, you know, I live in a city that is, it's one of the world's major cities, right? That everything.
I'd say so. Yes.
I've heard of it. I often said about New York City, anything you wanted is here. In other words, let's say you had a computer and a certain part broke, and it's an older computer, and you just couldn't find a part anywhere. In New York City, you could find that part. You know?
Oh, sure. You go to Archimedes Electronics on Canal Street. You got everything.
But I find my life a total and utter bore. Are you still there? Oh, boy. We lost him. Jesus Christ. This happens all the time when we talk to him in Vegas. Let me call him back. Here we go. There we go. Da, 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 da. Am I okay? It takes Skype forever to start ringing a phone.
Part 2. I kill you. Who is this?
I don't know what it is with you. I never had this problem with Bubs, but I have the problem with you. I don't know.
Bubbles has an old time clam top. I should just go to a phone booth and we can do this.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Anyway, what I was going to say is that. I find New York boring. And I really say to myself, today I got to get out and I got to do stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I say, what stuff is there to do? And unless it's like a dental appointment or, something to do with prostate cancer or whatever, I have nothing to do. And I go down, I work out. I go to the gym and I bicycle for like 25 minutes and I go home.
That's what I do. I don't do much here during the day. I hang out with the cats. I watch TV. I play on the computer, and I go to the gym.
Well, I would imagine if I
went there 3 a.m. last night. Yeah. It was open.
If I find New York boring, you must find Vegas boring because there's not a hell of a lot to do unless you're a tourist.
It's true, but I don't want to do anything. What do I want to do? I've seen everything. I've been everywhere. I like just hanging out at the house, playing with the babies, and playing on a computer or whatever.
Yeah.
So and at night I work. So there's my day. I'm a happy old square.
Did you get to find the Bay Area boring?
After a while, well, now it's kind of like an overpriced ghetto, man. But it's comedy-wise, yes, it was very boring. There's barely a scene there now, except for the Flopmore Theater, which is great, and a couple other places.
But I mean, the question.
Yeah, I was just sleeping all day there, pretty much. The scenery's beautiful, but I'd rather be here right now.
Well, let me see.
Friends and blah blah blah. So.
If I lived in the Bay Area right now, I would have a car because you can't. You can't.
Of course, you gotta have a car. Outside of New York, you gotta have a car.
No, in New York, you don't have a car. In New York, no way you want to have a car.
No, it's insane. But outside of New York, bam, it's a new world. Oh, so you got
if I owned a car, right, I'd be paying whatever the payment was monthly on it. Let's say $500, and then I'd pay for the insurance, which because it's in New York City, would be outrageous. Probably another $500 a month or something like that.
Yeah, oh God.
And then on top of that, you got to find a garage to put it in, and they're like $700, $800 a month. So why have a fucking car?
You can park in New York, man.
Because and then if I had that car, how often would I use it? You know,
exactly.
I'm not going
I wouldn't own a Schwinn in New York.
I'm not going to go to my garage, take the car out of the garage to go downtown in heavy traffic, and then come back especially at the current gasoline prices.
Right.
When I just take a fucking subway and be there in 20 minutes, you know. So there's no reason to have a car here, but in San Francisco, I'm sorry, you don't have a car. You're pretty much
exactly.
You know, so
parking's fairly illegal there everywhere, but still you gotta have a car in San Francisco.
So I would have a car in San Francisco, and I guess I would get up in the morning, get in the car, and if worse came to worse, drive to the top of Mount Tamalpais or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
But here, there's really nothing to do. I can get on the subway. I can take like the D train down to the F, and then the F all the way to Coney Island. All right, and then get a hot dog, and then get back on the train and come back.
There you go. There's one day shot.
Having eaten a hot dog, you know. But that's it. What do I do? Oh, why don't you go to the theater? Sure, I'm going to go to the theater. How much is a theater ticket right now? Oh, how about
$1,700 to see the first act of Hamilton?
Just for, you know, if you buy a ticket and you wait 4 months, maybe you can get it for $175 a seat.
Yeah.
That's some pretty expensive sitting, you know.
Yep. Yeah. No. I go out when I'm working. That's about it. So. I don't want to go out. I really, as soon as I'm done with the gig, sometimes I do the last 5 minutes of my act walking towards the car. I just want to come home. I'm an old, dull guy now. Well, I've been to the parties. I've done this. I've traveled. You know?
I can go to the movies, but then again, that movie, if it's a small movie that I want to see, will be available within 2 or 3 months on cable. Okay. And if it's one of those big pictures like the Avengers or whatever, who gives a shit?
I don't. Yeah, the last time I went to the movies was 2002. That's the last time I was in a movie theater. There's nothing I want to see. Zero. So I want to see Black Klansman, but that'll be on HBO sooner or later.
It's probably
nothing I want to see.
I think it's there already. It's somewhere. You know.
Is it? Okay, we got like 50 HBOs, and so far it's like 50 channels of garbage. So. Once in a while they show Goodfellas. Like every month they show Goodfellas. Okay, I'll watch that.
Yeah, but I have screeners I get from SAG-AFTRA for consideration every year.
Yep.
Here's the big mistake. My wife goes. She goes, I really love that movie. I don't know, The Favorite or whatever. Some picture that appeals to her artistic sense.
Yeah.
And I go, well, why should we go see it? And she goes, no, let's go see it. Let's go see it. Then we go see it. And then all of a sudden, it's like 1 month later, and SAG-AFTRA starts sending us all the films for their contenders for their, SAG Awards. And, of course, that movie is there. Half of them we saw because she wanted to go to a movie theater to see it.
Exactly.
And I go, we got a 65-inch screen at home. It's one of those rare ones. It's a 3D, so that if a movie's...
Wow, a 3D TV. I'd stay in for that.
Yeah. So why do we need to go to a theater? Got the surround sound, the whole thing. Why do we need to go to a movie theater? So we can feel the sticky floor and some guy in front of you going, hey, here's the part where the guy got shot. I've seen this before. So that's why the major stuff you see in movie theaters now are these tentpole things where they got like the Avengers with lots of explosions and 3D and all of that, because that's the only way they can drag people into a movie theater. They can't drag them in with quality anymore,
Nope.
So,
nope. It's got to have a big blockbuster with sense around, like Earthquake 74.
Well, they just started the new Avengers pictures starting on Friday.
Oh, okay.
And I saw the other two, and they made no sense at all. So,
yeah, just these big blockbusters don't attract me at all. I don't give a shit.
So I'm supposed to go get, and this one's 3 hours and 5 minutes long. And I'm going, why? Who needs it?
Plus, who needs the heartbreak? Who needs it?
Plus, the price on a ticket's about $20 in New York City now.
That's insane. Oh, you got to think of the Yoo-hoo I could buy with that cash.
So you stay home, you watch them here when they come out. Here's something, folks, and this is something that I think you should take to the bank. This is Alex's advice to you. Any movie that comes out this weekend will be around for the next 40 or 50 years. Okay?
I'll be around forever.
So you don't have to go see it today. You can wait for cable. Why do you have to see it today? Oh, I can't wait to see the new Avengers movie. Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
You wait a little bit. Let the other people see it first. Then you see it.
Why? We know what's going to happen. Lots of explosions, right?
Yeah. No plot, a lot of special effects.
A bunch of people flying around in suits. Who needs it?
Yeah.
I mean, and if I really want to see it, why do I have to see it today?
Exactly.
You know what it is? I think it's bragging rights. So you can go back to your friends and get, I just saw the new
Oh yeah,
Avengers
sure.
film.
Yeah, I saw it the first night, man. Blah 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 blah. But who cares?
You sit home watch movies, right, on TV?
Okay, yeah. When I have the patience to sit still for an hour and a half or 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
How do you do that? You got HBO, you got Netflix, you got what?
We got like 50 HBOs and Yawn and I don't know, basic bullshit because you can have 10,000 channels and there's not going to be anything good on. So we have the basic shit, about 5 HBOs.
You haven't sucked into Netflix yet?
Oh, I have friends who have Netflix. Yeah, I like it. We don't have it, but Netflix is pretty cool.
I decided
So watch whatever you want when you want to watch it.
I get their 4K service, so it's $2 more than their normal service. They just raised my service to $16.99 a month.
Oh boy, bend over, bend over, bend over. Oh shit, the bend over alert went on. What's the rent in San Francisco? Bend over, bend over, bend over.
And I got to tell you, when I go to Netflix these days, there's so much stuff. Number one, you can't sort it out.
Exactly.
Like you can find something eventually, but you have to look through too much stuff to find what you want. And then if you look at the totality of Netflix, there's nothing there.
Exactly. Well, I was at my friend's house. I was at Al Cleveland's house when I was in San Francisco last September, and he had Netflix, and I'd never seen it before. And I go, wow! And there was a lot of good stuff on there then. So had the Borat, some Borat stuff, which was hysterical, and what's his name? The Sacha Baron Cohen did some characters on the show, and we saw some good stuff.
Yeah, but that was on
pick and choose.
Sacha Baron Cohen's latest show was on Showtime. It wasn't on Netflix.
We saw it on. I saw it on Netflix. This is when he plays all these different characters and fucks with people.
Yeah, but I think that was on Showtime.
Well, I believe I beg to differ because let's watch this one now, and with Sacha Baron Cohen, we watched it.
Well, anyway,
whenever we wanted to watch it. I believe it was. Look, I'm no electronics expert, and I'm not going to bet money on it, but I'm pretty sure it was Netflix.
Well, I was really, but there's too much of nothing. So I told my wife, I said, I think we should cancel Netflix. She went apoplectic. I'll pay for it. I'm going. The only reason I don't want to pay. I mean, come on, $16.99. That's I walk down the street and I spend that.
Exactly. Yeah. Before you get to the corner, you spend that much.
But I would love to send a message to Netflix, like, you ain't getting my fucking money.
Yeah. They are. Oh yes, we are.
You're not going to start me out at what was it, $9.99, and now you're up to $16.99, and anytime you want to raise it, you raise it. And you got to realize, if they raised everybody $2, which they did, how many people do they have on Netflix? I think worldwide,
millions.
It's like 150 million worldwide, something like that. It's
a lot of spending though.
Well,
folding cash.
Yes, add times that by 2, and you've got the amount of money that they're going to make every month as a result of having raised it $2. So they can make more nitwit chef shows that are Netflix originals.
Yep.
The other thing they do, they keep saying everything.
Now you're catching on, boyo.
They say
all about the dollar.
Yeah, they say that everything's a Netflix original. I got news for you, folks. Like, for instance, you've got Star Trek Discovery, which is on CBS All Access. Everywhere else in the world, it's on Netflix as a Netflix original. And it's not.
Netflix original.
It's not. All the shows like Arrow and so on that are on the CW are also on Netflix in other countries as Netflix originals.
Oh, Lord.
And they're not. You know,
taking me for a sucker, eh?
so I'm thinking of saying, "Hey, Gabnet, my little channel here that I've got, it's a Netflix original." You know, it's
The new originals.
Stephen Pearl's comedy shows. They're Netflix originals. You know.
And hey, wait a minute. I came up with that one at the back room of the Holy City Zoo, and I was blown away on 17 different drugs.
But that kind of cheapens the term original, doesn't it? You know.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, the term, every term has been cheapened. The term genius, everyone's a genius now.
No,
so
that
what does it mean?
I hate the way. It's when people say, "Don't you think that Amy Schumer is a genius?"
Oh God, yeah. Einstein was a genius. Justin Bieber was a genius. I guess that means nothing.
That's what I was going to say. Einstein was a genius, and by saying that Amy Schumer is a genius or Justin Bieber is a genius, cheapens the term genius.
Totally. Exactly. It puts it down to the level of a 99-cent store.
And you're trying to equate them with Einstein.
Exactly. Einstein, Mozart, Da Vinci. Insane.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
Yeah. So,
Kanye West is a genius. It's true because he said so himself.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just amazing to me how we cheapen terms today by saying, "Oh, isn't he a genius?" You know.
A genius. Hell, I've been called a genius. How cheap can you get?
Yeah.
That's Jack Benny cheap.
I think I've never been called a genius. Never.
Oh, okay. Count your blessings. That means nobody's going to come after you.
Well, that means I have nothing to live up to. You know. So
there you go. There you go. Yeah, nothing.
But I don't think anybody
to live up to. You got no worries.
I don't think anybody's ever referred to me as a genius.
Well, I will right now. I will state that you are a genius, my friend.
Am I a genius?
Now you got to live with it.
What do I do that's genius? You know.
You take it around. You strut around holding it proudly.
Yeah. So anyway.
I don't know. You just put it in your back pocket and forget you ever had
but
it.
who in popular culture would you consider a genius?
I don't know who anyone in popular culture is. I couldn't name you one current star.
give me genius.
To pick a genius out of them. Oh, good luck on that.
Okay, genius out of the last 50 years of pop culture.
Uh-huh.
Who?
I've heard of. They say Lady Gaga is, but I've heard her and I don't quite get it. So yeah.
Lady Gaga's good. I mean, she can do her wear a meat suit songs, and then she can turn around and
fly away in a flying egg.
The next day she can sing with Tony Bennett and keep up with him very well. You know. So
let me tell you something. That bitch ain't much to look at, but boy, she can hit a C above a IE like nobody's business.
But she's not a genius, but she is a virtuoso. Okay?
Okay, good enough.
Okay, but she's not a genius.
She should shut up and play that piano.
Yeah. You know what I always here's the one that always bothered me. Do you ever go past a sign and it says something like Joe's Diner, world's best coffee?
Sure, yeah. I love those.
So I would love to say, famous. So world famous coffee, Joe's world famous coffee. Okay,
house of salmonella.
So I would love to take my camera, and when I'm on my next vacation and I'm in Spain or in Italy or in France or someplace like that, go up to people on the street and say, "Have you ever heard of Joe's world famous coffee?"
Well, of course. So we can't do here saving our money to go there.
And then
it is in Bakersfield,
Then I take that tape and go into Joe's world famous coffee and say, "I want you to watch this tape." And then I ask them, "Have you heard of Joe's world famous coffee?" And they go, "No." And I say,
"That's why you're a genius, young man. I was right."
Take that off the sign, okay? Because it's obviously to say it's world famous is not true. It is not world famous.
No, not even famous on the block. Block famous. Joe's block famous coffee. Yeah, we know it till the corner.
Yeah.
Joe's a legend till you get to the corner. Then they don't know who the fuck he is.
But that's another thing we cheapen. Something is world famous or world renowned.
World renowned is even better.
I mean, there are certain things that are world renowned. For instance, the fact that Trump is an asshole. That's world renowned.
World renowned.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. We cheapen everything by just giving them these qualities that they really don't have. And we have no idea what a genius is anymore. You know,
There aren't any, and
I've heard
if there are, they assassinate them or ignore them, and the world has become one big John's bargain store.
I've heard Kanye West referred to as a genius.
Oh, he has said it himself, so it must be true.
It must be true. Hey, listen,
I'm a creative genius. Whoa, the new Yoko Ono.
We've run out of time.
Oh my God, time flies when you're having the best time ever been gave, I tell you.
Hey, always good talking to you, Stephen. Let's do this in a couple of weeks, okay?
Without a doubt, my friend. Another couple of weeks, we will kibitz some more.
Bye-bye.
We'll kibitz. We'll reminisce. We'll have a barrel of fun.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Okay, and that is, of course, our good friend. Let me get myself over here. Stephen Pearl. See, my button doesn't work. Let me see here. Does the button work? No. See, all of a sudden it decides not to work. Well, anyway. It's the last night with this machine, and I'll tell you why in a couple of seconds. It's a great story, actually. It's actually something nice that has actually happened. Let me see here. I got to go turn on the Skype so that people can call if I don't turn it on. Actually, oddly enough, it's always on. That's the problem with Skype. It's always on. It's just I make it invisible, and so people don't see that I'm online, okay? And but it's a Phil-free night, so I need callers tonight. Not that Phil is the only caller to this program, but, you know, whatever. So, give us a call, will you? The call is our Skype number is GabNet Live. If you want to call Skype, just type in GabNet Live and dial it on Skype. Simple, GabNet Live, GABNETLIVE. And let's see if anybody calls tonight. Otherwise, I didn't need to do a show tonight. I could have done some stuff. I have a very nice. If I hear from some people, I have a nice story to tell. I'm actually happy about something. Oh well, here comes Josh Wheeler. Let me go over here to the thing and get Josh up here. Let me see here. Well, I can't do that yet. We've got to add. Oh, well, Josh didn't come on for some reason. But Charlie Wallace is, as soon as I see his picture, I can then put him on. Okay, here comes Josh Wheeler. We go to Josh Wheeler, and he's added. So let me put Charlie up here. I've got to, I got to do all this homework before I can get people on. Let me see here. Here's 2 is going to be, let me see here, is going to be, no, boy, okay, Charlene. Hold on a second. I got to, boy, what happened to, oh, well. We got Charlene up here. Hold on a second, everybody. I've got to get these. There's Charlie Wallace. Okay, but where is? Okay, cancel. Okay, let me go here now. There we got Charlie. Okay, and then we go here, and we want to get Charlene. There we go. Charlene is there. Okay, there we go. All right. Hello, everybody. How are you this evening?
Hi.
Huh? Okay, here comes Jeff Stein. Let me see here. Let me put Jeff Stein up here. Before I go put all these up, I got to go to Stein Zeller. There we go. All right, now, there we go. There's our... There's somewhat of a citizen panel assembled. Hello, everybody. How are you? Huh? Wait a minute. I don't hear anybody. Wait a minute. There we go. I got the wrong switch. I've got oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. We got to go to Josh Wheeler. Let me put him in here in the number 4 spot. Let me see here. Josh, hold on a second. Are you there, Josh? Okay, let me see here now. Fourth spot. Let me see if Josh is there. There we are. Josh 42. Okay. And he's there. Okay, now we're cooking. We already got a citizen panel going here, and I'm hardly out of sync at all. Anyway, how are you, everybody?
Good for you.
Okay.
You want me to tell you a great story, something that'll make you happy?
Sure.
At least for me. You know, I gripe so much about the bad days that I have and gripe about how things go wrong. Today, everything went right. All right?
Yay!
And in spades, actually. Okay, let me explain. First of all, heard from our lawyer, the judge finally made a determination in this case.
Wow.
And is not going to accept the landlord or the guy who had this apartment wanting a summary judgment. So they have to start dealing with each other. And pretty much it said that, it said good things about us and about our things. So it was good. It was a good day for that. The lawyer wrote and said, good news, right? The good news is there's no news. All right. Now, then I get a notification that my Mac Pro, which let me tell you, I bought this Mac Pro maybe a month and a half ago on eBay for $3,300. Okay? And promptly, about 3 weeks ago, the display board goes out. Boom. Take it down to Apple to see if they'll fix it. They put in a display board, but it doesn't solve the problem. You're making us dizzy, Charlene.
I'm sorry.
They put in a display board, and it doesn't work. So there are two display boards in there, so they went and ordered the other one, and then it worked, but there was a little bit of a heat problem. Not a lot, but just enough that they were worried about that, and they said, there's just something we can't fix here. We're going to have to send your computer off to Texas to have it fixed. I would have had you go down and visit it, Charlie, but you're in Arizona now, so it doesn't matter. So I think it was in Houston, Texas. So I'm reading every day, gets there, and they're diagnosing it. Now they're working on it, and they were working on it for like a couple of days or something. I'm thinking, what's taking so long? Finally, it says it's being shipped back to the store, and today around 3 o'clock I get a notification, or 2 o'clock I get a notification from the Apple store, come pick up your computer. Now, they told me when they sent this thing to Texas that the charge that they said they were, the amount they said they were going to charge me, let me bring in somebody else here to the crowd. Hold on a second, folks. Wait a minute, I'll finish the story in a second as soon as I can put Rob Alfano in the group. Okay, there we go. There he is. Hello, Rob. Anyway, let me finish his story. So they told me, when they sent it to Texas, we told you this thing was going to cost $375 to fix or something like that. And no matter what they do down there, it's not going to cost you a penny more. That's our policy here at Apple. All right? So they send it down there, and it comes back. And they said, okay, they had to do a lot of, put new parts in it. And, but we told you that we minus out everything, and all you owe us is, what was it? It was $359.40. So I give them $349, $39.59, whatever. I give them that money. And I go home, and they send me a Genius Bar work confirmation. Now, hold on a second. I got to put somebody else on here. Tony Magno. Gee, I'm not out of sync yet, but this will probably do it for me. Let me see here. Let me go to the 6th place here. I'm trying to tell this story. but we'll do it. Oh, Tony's there, and let's see here. Tony, are you there? Yes, he is. Okay, all right. Anyway, back to the story. So I come home, and he said to me while I was there, wait while I go find my manager so we can minus out all the work that they did down in Houston. And I said, fine. And then I paid him the $300 and some odd that they said they were going to charge me, and I go home. I get this thing, Genius Bar Work Confirmation. Do you want to hear what they did to my computer down in Houston, Texas? They added a new graphics board, the A board. They then replaced the B graphics board. Then they put in 4 new memory chips, replaced all the old memory chips. Then there was some cable flex for the graphic board, another cable flex for the other graphic board, bus bars for the graphic board, a labor charge. Wait a minute, hold on. The one I didn't mention was up towards the top, replacement of the CPU riser, 2.7 gigahertz, 12 core. The total cost on that was $998. The total cost of all the repairs they did to my computer was $3,044.89. I don't have to pay.
Oh, you don't have to pay.
Huh?
That's why you buy Apple.
Yep, that's why you buy Apple. That is the best news I've got. I've got basically sitting in the other room. I'm not using it right now because I didn't want to put it in tonight and then not have enough time to get it all, working just right and tuned up. But it's sitting in the other room, and what I basically have, would you agree, Rob, because you're the tech guy, is probably a brand new Mac Pro.
Absolutely.
That's most of what the Mac Pro is, right?
Yeah.
The only thing missing,
you got all new silicon. You got new graphics cards.
Yeah, I got a new
What's
new CPU.
Yeah.
Yeah. 12 core CPU. It was, it's just amazing, just amazing.
That's Apple.
And $349.50 or something weird like that. And I have all this, and on the other side it says amount due from the customer and 000000000, and then down at the bottom they charged me $476. But that 100 of that was for them, so that was taken off, and then another 49 was taken off. So I got a brand new computer.
Can't do better than that, Alex, for nothing.
Huh?
For nothing, right?
Yeah, for nothing. I mean, it's really amazing. It's really amazing that it's that good. Yes, Jeff.
Didn't you buy that computer used?
Yes.
From eBay, right?
Yeah.
And what
That's
did
still
it cost
eBay.
to buy that?
$3,300. It cost me $3,300. Wow. Yeah. So basically, it's as though I sent it somewhere and they said, well, we'll just replace everything inside it. The only thing I think they didn't replace is the logic board and the power unit.
How long ago did you buy that on eBay? Is it 6 months?
No, about 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, wow. This thing will last me a long time now because this, hopefully, plus I get a 90-day warranty on the repair. So
and they didn't give a crap because they know by looking at the unit itself, serial number and such, that you were not the original owner.
Oh, they know that. Yeah, they know that.
Yeah, they know that. They don't care.
No. All they care about is that I took it in. They thought they fixed it. They couldn't fix it, and so therefore they're going to okay. Patrick's calling, which means I've got to go to my next thing here. Let me go here. Let me see, 7, and we go here and we find. Let's see here. Which one? Oh, Darth Pat. Okay, that's him. And then we add that, and here we go. boom, there we go. And you know something? I'm still in sync. Okay? So, who cares? Anyway, isn't that good news? Isn't that just wonderful? You don't hear about that happening that often.
Right. Yippee. Good news.
You know.
Never had a bad experience with Apple support.
Yeah,
Never.
yeah. And now I got to take the thing. Of course, I got to put the thing back in, and I think it's going to be pretty easy. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with it. I already took the backup and made from the backup, put all the stuff back on. I turned it on, and all the stuff is there, where it should be. You know, or not where it should be, because I did another room with different monitors. But once I get it in here, it's going to be just like it was when it left. And poor little baby, my cheese grater, is going to have to go back in the other room, you know. But it served me nicely, and I have to, you know. It was a great computer they made, these cheese graters, and a lot of people feel that it was wrong of them to take them out of play, you know. But anyway, so I got my trash can back, and you know, the downside was it took them 3 weeks. Or almost 3 weeks. It'll be 3 weeks tomorrow that I brought the thing in.
Alex, what's the trash can? The computer?
Yeah, I mean, I was
like
almost going to
can.
bring it in here and just show it to you. It just looks like a trash can.
Oh.
Exactly what.
I thought I missed something for a minute.
No,
I thought you had a new trash can.
It's round, it's tubular, and it looks like a trash can. Looks like
Yeah, Phil has one, and he showed it last night.
Yeah. So, I was going to bring it in and show it to you. The only thing is about this, and I got to tell you, this Mac Pro has served me well, but as the show goes on, because I'm using so much CPU power, the fan starts really revving up. It's fan intensive. What I'm going to do now with this computer is I'm just going to completely clean it. I'm going to dust it all inside and take a spray and, you know, clean it up and get it going again, you know.
Do you have to add a cooling system or anything? No.
What?
Do you have to add a cooling system or anything?
To what? The one I just got back?
For your CPU so it doesn't overheat, right?
Well, no, that's why they were so funny about giving it back to me. They got it all working, but they put it on a scope, and somehow there was about 2% heat that wasn't supposed to be there. So they had to send it to Texas, and Texas said, "Fuck it, we'll just replace everything." You know, I don't even know why they replaced the memory. The memory was just fine.
Wow.
Who knows? You know, and that was 4 chips.
As long as you didn't have to pay, who cares?
Yeah,
right?
that was almost $400 worth of chips, maybe more. How much?
Wow.
How much were those DIMMs? They were. Excuse me. I think I had the number wrong. They were $248, $254 each. Each of the memory chips, yeah, for this thing.
That's $1,000 right there.
Huh?
That's $1,000 right there.
Oh, it's $1,000 right there for just that. But then the CPU riser, which, you know, is the CPU, and it says right there, it says 12 core. So, you know, I'm back to the way I was. I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. So, and you're right, Rob. I mean, I you know, as much as I would love to gripe about Apple, and we'd love to say nasty things about Apple, you really can't.
I just looked at while you were talking, I just went to the Apple on my Mac and went about this Mac. This Mac is a MacBook Pro 15-inch from mid 2015. This is 2019, mid 2019, and I have no thought, no even inkling that, gee, you know, it's getting slow, it's time to replace it. If you had a Windows machine from 2015, you're already thinking time to move on. Need something fast.
Oh, a Windows machine every 2-3 years, you know.
Yeah.
That's why you pay more for the Mac.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, well, like this cheese grater I've got sitting down here that's been doing yeoman duty. I bought in 2011.
Yeah.
You know,
8 years old.
and it's still going. Please keep going. Don't listen to what I'm saying.
One more day.
Like it's Timex.
Huh? Yeah.
He took a licking and kept on ticking.
Yep. Kept on ticking. But I mean, I'm very happy with this resolution today. I certainly can't complain at all about it. So, um,
So Alex, you're gonna
what?
be using it, tomorrow. You're gonna work on it all day.
Tomorrow in the morning, I'm going to plug it in. Actually, most of the stuff is right here. I just need to unplug this and plug some monitors in and do that. I think if everything goes right, I could do it in 10, 15 minutes. And if everything goes right, I'm going to have to do some bringing stuff over from the other machine and so on and so forth. But for the most part, it should work the same way it worked before it broke.
And you might be testing tomorrow, like at some point, or
No, I have no need to test. If it works, it works. It's that simple. So,
I think she means test that all of your stuff for the show works.
no, well, I'll test it off the air. I assume that pretty much. I mean, when you have a backup, and then you restore the machine from the backup, it's pretty much the machine you left. Everything should be in the same place doing the same thing. And maybe there'll be a few little problems, but every time I've ever done a backup for a Mac, it's always become the same machine that I left before.
Yeah.
Except for some files which may not have gone on in the interim. Okay, so, and then I'll have those are the things I'll have to fix, but but it's not a big problem. So anyway, let me see here. Gee, anybody have something they want to talk about?
Did anybody catch any of the hearings today?
Yes, I saw William Barr. That guy is a real asshole.
I laugh when I see him. I saw it today when he stood up. He's so comical looking to me,
It was two different trials.
Mm-hmm.
I was listening on the radio. I had to go to Frederick, Maryland today, and I listened to a good part of it on the radio. And I didn't have to see graphics. I didn't have to see names. But when they're talking about the Obama administration, I knew I was listening to a Republican, and when they were talking about the relevance of the Mueller report, I knew I was listening to a Democrat. Our government is so dysfunctional.
It's
the people in the incumbent party don't care what this man or his campaign have done to get where they've gotten. That's where we are in this country.
Aren't they afraid this is going to come back to bite them in the ass?
I hope it does.
To
me, they're accomplices. If this is ever, if everything is proven, if it does come, to come to fruition, those people are all accomplices to my book.
Yeah,
they were enablers. They were enablers.
Yeah, Charlie. Charlie, you wanted to say something?
Yes, especially Mitch McConnell.
Yeah. Especially Mitch McConnell. Yeah. They all have this snarky look about them. I don't know, but maybe we left-wingers look weird to them. I don't know.
Alex, last night, the conspiracy guy, I forget his first name again, that calls on the phone.
Yeah.
He said something about, which was interesting. I know he's a conspiracy theory guy, but he said like Barr could be like the running mate, for Trump if Pence, isn't the running mate, for 2020?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
I don't know.
That wouldn't be suspicious.
It would be too suspicious.
That wouldn't be suspicious, you say?
That wouldn't be at all. Yeah, I mean, think about that.
Mm-hmm.
This guy comes along at the right time. He had already made his feelings clear about how he would handle it before he had the job. He's put into the job to handle it that way, and then suddenly the guy becomes a running mate.
Oh, that would be just too much, yeah.
Yeah.
Too obvious. Too obvious.
Yeah, it'd be too obvious.
Trump was just the guy to do it.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
But
what he
also,
does,
also,
obvious.
Barr today had some of the same talking points that Trump has. You know, he was using the same talking points, some of the same terms, and I don't know.
Well,
you know.
when the same person for both people, that's not hard to believe.
Yeah. How do you feel about it, Josh? I mean, did you see hear any of Barr today? I mean,
I heard a good bit. I did not watch but I heard a good bit, and especially all the main points. I watched some of the, 5 o'clock and on news programs and whatever. And I think the guy.
what is that? Wait a
He
minute.
reminds me a lot of
What is
Phil.
that? Hold on a second. Wait a minute.
In a lot of ways.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Somebody's making some noise here. Who is that? Who's doing that?
No, it sounds like tape.
Huh?
It sounds like tape, like.
No. I don't know who it was, but it's gone.
What are you
now.
hearing? What kind of noise?
That it was like.
Russian.
Hear that? Hear that? What is that? Well, it's gone now.
Don't know.
Was it you, Jeff, at all?
But
Did you have your mic off, Jeff?
Jeff's muted.
Jeff's
looks like
muted.
it's muted.
Who? And it wasn't you.
Yeah, I was muted.
Yeah, I don't know where that was coming from. It's like somebody was
Yeah.
rubbing against something. Your microphone was rubbing against something, and it was annoying. Yes. Anyway, where were we?
The
Yeah.
Barr guy.
Back to Barr. I mean,
Yeah.
I think his have been. I mean, they've been disgraceful to use a Trump. I mean, I think what this gentleman has done, has been very poor judgment on his part. I think when it's all said and done in 30 or 40 years, he's going to be remembered for this instead of everything else in his life that he might have done that was decent beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be remembered as a joke,
Yeah.
as that guy who went up there and was apparently set to sit at the right hand of power that he would shill for,
Mm-hmm.
that in any other time and in any other place, he would have rolled his eyes and thought the guy was a joke. I mean, he's in the camp with people like Lindsey Graham. And look,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't know if these people are just complete converted sycophants, or if they are so desperate to get close to power and feel wanted, or if someone has a file on these folks and they showed up and they said, "This is what you're going to do." I mean, it's one or the other, because I just cannot believe that some of these folks, Lindsey Graham, and a few other people, actually are okay with what's going on.
Yeah. Let me. By the way,
no way.
Josh, you're breaking up a little bit. Try and move your computer a little bit. Yeah, because it may be.
I thought it was me.
No. He has a little bit of a problem with his reception. Patrick, did you see any of it today? Nah.
No, I don't give a fuck.
See, I knew that was going to be the answer. What's strange is you're the only Republican I know that doesn't give a fuck. Otherwise they're all over on everybody's case, but you don't give a fuck.
I have a life. I have shit to do, and I have people to talk to, rather than sit in front of a fucking
Noise
television
again.
Yeah.
and a fucking hearing all fucking day. I got books to read. I can go run to visit my parents. My folk can visit me. There's better shit to do than that. If I want to hear about this, I can come on shows like this, or watch whatever television shows. They're gonna give me the highlights. I don't need to waste my day on it. So.
We've been joined, by the way, by Kevin. Hello, Kevin. Yes, Rob.
I was going to just say to Patrick, the unfortunate part of this is it is what's coming. It's what's happening to our country, and it's being systematically unwound, if you will. And you may think that's dramatic, but with what's going on with our presidency, with the president's office, with the institution of our government, it's being systematically unwound. And this is stuff that you can't put back in the box. Once you let it out, it becomes precedent. And I agree with you. Watching this stuff it's not, you're watching it, it becomes almost sport, but it's the import behind it that is significant.
But the thing is, Rob, me watching it will not change one thing.
You're right about that.
But when I vote, that's when things will change. But that's why I don't give a shit about this, because whether or not or some other shit happens with this, it's not going to affect me yet. It has to be at the ballot. So for me to waste time and watch this and to argue with myself and go, oh, they're right, he did this wrong, and you know what? He's still got another 2 fucking years in office. And for me to get wound up one way or the other and say that you guys are all full of shit, like with Phil. Phil will defend Trump till the day Trump dropped dead. I can't do that, and I've never been behind a candidate, ever.
Patrick, that you can't do that.
But I've never been against a candidate that much either, where I don't mean any disrespect to most of you, but you guys get your shit so wrapped up over Trump that I just can't imagine one person going to die of a heart attack on the panel, because everybody gets so upset about it. I can't get upset one way or the other. I have my opinion. I do get pissed, but you know what? When I come on here, I want to just listen. I'm not going to get wound up over shit and end up in the hospital over something I can't do anything about for another 2 years.
But what's interesting, Patrick, is that you're getting wound up about not getting wound up.
I noticed that too.
It's just me getting animated just to make the point.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I didn't see any of it, and Rob, you're right. Things are happening, but me watching it, not going to change a thing.
Kevin, did you see Barr today at all? And do you have any take on it?
Off and on. I saw parts of it yesterday too, but it's kind of the same thing. I started watching it and I'm just going, this guy's full of shit, and it's kind of the same thing. It's more of the same stuff.
Yeah, Charlie, you've got your hand up, and then we'll go to some other people too. Charlie.
Yeah, I was going to just comment on what Patrick said. I get wound up because Trump is doing such horrible shit. I mean, the things they did to those poor kids at the border, I mean, that's shit. And the Republicans have already kicked 10,000 people off of health insurance. I mean, 10 million people off of health insurance, and they want to kick the other 30 million off before Trump is done. And when those people don't have health insurance, a certain percentage of them are actually going to die because they don't get to the doctor in time because they can't afford it without the insurance. So when I think of people suffering and dying for no reason because the Republicans want to have a political win.
Okay, Kevin's got his hand up, but Tony had his hand up earlier. Tony, you wanted to say something?
You can let Kevin go first. It's
okay.
All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to finish that. I normally don't get wound up on this shit, but the fact that there's somebody up there that continues to get away with more and more and more and more, that's what gets me worked up. I've never gotten this, excited, never sat there and watched Fox and MSNBC like I do now. Not the fact that I'm home all day plus, but, just seeing what's, how, like what Rob says, the everything's getting unwound and nothing's being done about it because everybody's sitting around doing nothing about it.
Because the power is more important than what's the right thing to do.
Right, and the Democrats are sitting around picking their nose, going, oh, we don't want to hurt anybody, and that's frustrating to me.
Trump's probably done 100 things that if you and I have done them, we would be in jail for life.
Or any other president prior to him.
Right. So he's running rampant, and he's doing what he did in the private life. He's getting away with it.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, I worked the O.J. Simpson trial when I was at Court TV. And it reminds me of that. It's people are rooting for a person more than they're rooting for right or wrong. It's becoming a us versus them, and be damned what is
a circus, Rob, like a circus.
But it's like Phil to the death will defend Donald Trump. It doesn't matter what Trump says. It doesn't matter what he does. It's just like, this is my guy and I'm backing him. I don't care if the country 2 years from now or 6 years from now is worse off for it.
Right,
We're subverting everything.
To your point, I saw a little, somebody posted something on Facebook the other day, and this guy was a quote-unquote pastor, and he sat there and he talked about how Trump is, he's got his flaws, but I'm a pastor and I'm going to vote for him. And I'm going, how can you vote for a guy that cusses, calls people names, makes fun of the disabled, and grabs pussy? I mean, and you're a pastor.
Because they're hypocrites.
It makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's because of his name.
Tony, you had something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I actually have two things to say. Did it ever, I didn't hear the conference today. Did it ever maybe occur to anybody, maybe Barr is actually telling the truth?
I think the silence probably says it all.
And here's another question that I pose. I don't like Trump as a person, but I'm going to rephrase this one way. And I'll go back to Obama's when he was in office. And anybody can spin it any way they want. If Trump would have put the fine on people not having health insurance after what it was 2 years of $500, if Trump was to do that, how would you guys feel about that? What would the media be calling him?
What about $500?
Yeah, if you didn't have health insurance, he was like a dictator. Well, you're going to get fined by this time. If Trump did
you weren't going to get fined. You were going to. I think it had to do with tax time. You weren't able to take it off on your taxes.
But he was going to hit you with a fine.
No, the fine was in.
If you don't have car insurance, you get caught without car insurance.
But you really shouldn't be fining somebody for. But if he
wait a minute. Hold on a second, Tony. You just heard what's his name, and he's right. He's absolutely right.
But I'm not a car. It's not a crime not to have insurance.
It's not a crime to have car insurance?
No, it's not a crime for me to have health insurance.
Oh, well, wait a minute. It should be, because you're causing a lot of other people to be sick, and you're causing a lot of strain on the economy if you're sick and aren't insured.
But say if I can't afford it.
Well, then, but you've got a car, and you can afford insurance for that, can't you?
But if I don't,
so you care more about a piece of mechanical equipment, which, by the way, car insurance will probably cost you as much as health insurance.
So you're telling me that everybody in the country should have health insurance, and if you don't have it, you're going to get fined, and you're going to tell me that sounds like a dictator.
Absolutely, it sounds like a great idea.
That's wrong. That's wrong. That's like telling everybody they have to have a job.
Patrick.
It's not the same thing, but it's related in the way that you just described it out. You just made the perfect argument why voter ID should be national. Because, if you can afford to get different things and you need IDs for other things, like you said, car insurance, then you should be required to have health insurance, i.e. voter ID. So thank you for making that argument in my favor and for most Republicans who believe in it.
Look how smug he's looking now. Yeah, what? What were you saying, Tony?
I was going to say earlier that. Oh, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I had mentioned a long time ago that I'd had problems with William Barr, from the beginning because of some of his past, writings and theory on the separation of powers. And I thought some of the stuff that he said today, was downright just a little bit absurd or dangerous. I mean, the idea that he proffered that, the president has the right to fire a special counsel if he feels he's being wrongly accused, and the investigation is basically a witch hunt, and there's nothing there. I mean, that's a ridiculous notion, because who makes that decision?
Yeah.
Well, subject of the investigation. I mean, that's like me being charged with a crime, and I know I didn't do it, and I've got the right to just say, well, I didn't do it. This is bullshit.
Yep.
See you later.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Absolutely.
ridiculous. I mean, I understand maybe he is wrongly accused, or maybe another president will be wrongly accused. But there's a system in place for that. There's a procedure, and there's 535 people who are charged with coming to that decision. 100 fucking million lawyers that'll get involved in it. I mean, some of the areas of executive power put forth by someone like him. I mean, this is what people need to be concerned about. Not whether Trump stays in office for 2 more years, but how things change as a result of all.
Josh, because what you contribute to this program is so important. You are breaking up a lot tonight, and I don't know why. Maybe if
sounds like
I'm gonna do some restart, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll keep your space. Okay, it'll freeze up, and
I'll be right
we'll
back.
keep your space. Okay. All righty. Yes, we have Rob, who we lost a while back, but he's back again.
I wanted to address Tony's issue or question about what happens if Barr is telling the truth. You didn't see the hearing today. It wasn't about what truth that he says. It's about not answering questions openly and honestly, and about his own side, the Republicans. They didn't ask any questions. It's not about transparency. If everybody's innocent, then it should be a simple case of let's get the facts out there. When you listen to...
Didn't the Mueller report was public knowledge now?
No,
that is correct.
It's only partially public knowledge, Tony, because it's.
I don't want to say that.
It hasn't.
I'm not a Trump guy, but it sounds like sour grapes. They got to concentrate the Democrats.
No. It isn't sour grapes. It's the fact that even
you just don't like the results.
Hey,
and you're
wait a minute. Hold on a second,
not true.
Tony.
That's not
Tony,
true.
I'll tell you where you're full of shit, Tony. Because
whatever you want.
Because in the last couple of days, Mueller has said he wasn't happy with Barr's version of the Mueller report.
See what they did? They were very smart. They knew they were going to have to release the report. So before they released the report, Barr went out and he set a bar. Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
He went out and said, we don't think there's any reason to that first of all, collusion is not a legal term, right? It's a political term. But what he did was he came out with his own summary before the report was released. And what that did was it took people like you who were only peripherally listening to it because you didn't pay attention to the hearings today for whatever reason, working or not, and it puts that idea in your head that it's sour grapes. There's nothing. There is something there. It's just that. Did you read it? I didn't read it, but what I do is I listen to people who were talking about it ad nauseum, and you hear, and even Mueller himself said that's not an adequate summary of what's in the report.
Do you have? Here's the question I posed to you. So, do you have faith in the justice system of our government that they're doing the right investigation? Shouldn't that be enough? Is it?
I used to have faith.
I used to before Trump.
No, but I mean, not everybody who's not working for Trump. So you really don't believe anybody.
For Trump.
Let Charlie talk. Let Charlie talk, and then Charlene's had her.
I can never finish either.
As Attorney General, because he wrote a glowing thing about the president, how it's impossible for the president to obstruct justice. Whatever the president does is not obstruction of justice. So he goes in there with the predetermined opinion that Trump is innocent of obstructing justice, and regardless of what
you really believe that this our whole government can't do an honest investigation?
Yes, it's political.
So
it's
everybody's
all political.
No,
not everybody.
Nobody's doing anything.
McConnell refused for a whole fucking year to vote on a Supreme Court nominee, regardless of what the U.S. Constitution says. He refused to do it. Now, where am I going to get faith in the government from that?
Right.
Faith and justice from that when they will do that.
Hey, and I'm not going to sit here and say the Democrats that they're saints, because if the roles were reversed, same thing. They would do the exact same thing. They would do the exact same thing. That's what's wrong with our government. It's politics, not about what's right and wrong and getting to the truth.
I mean, it's almost like you get a book. Yeah, I don't really buy into the whole thing. I have to have faith that they're doing the right thing, investigating him.
I think it's naive, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Melania's got faith that Trump's not fucking around too.
Well, then you have to hope they catch him. They got Nixon.
But that's what we're talking. Mueller has all
Nixon
there
was
are
it
at least 12 cases where Mueller said that Congress could look at obstruction of justice. That's in the report, and Barr didn't even mention that in March when he gave his little 4-page summary. 12 different places where Congress could look at obstruction of justice.
See, here's the argument, Tony. Where's Tony going?
His mother's calling.
Oh, okay. Oh well. I was just gonna say that here you have a guy like Mueller, who about 3 days after Barr issued that 4-page distillation of what he thought it was about, Mueller sent him a letter saying, hey, you're misrepresenting me and you're misrepresenting the report. So even the guy who wrote it felt that this 4-page excuse, let's say, was not sufficient and gave the American public a misguided idea of what was in the Mueller report.
And it was brilliant because they used the media, who was looking for any information, this opportunity to suck this in. So they controlled the narrative because nobody had the report yet. They controlled the narrative. It made Trump tweet, no collusion, witch hunt, I'm completely innocent, and everybody buys into that before they look at the real report.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the idea of that he obstructed justice, for instance, even Mueller in his report said, while we are not... See, the thing is, Mueller wasn't ready to indict anybody on anything because that's not his job, that's Congress's job. All he did was present the information and saying, while I cannot make a recommendation, there are 10 points at which we feel the president may be guilty of obstruction. But that is up to the Congress to decide. Yes, Josh?
Yeah, I was just going to say that, I was listening to last night's show, couldn't call, but, was listening, and, Phil was making it sound like, Mueller was just kind of like, oh, I just didn't really agree with the way you worded it or whatever, but I think the evidence is clear today that the letter that he wrote is out, and some of the background reporting that went on with this, that's actually not the case at all. He was very upset. I mean, basically, and my hours may be off here a little bit, but, the news broke that the report was out that one day at 12:30, 1 o'clock or something like that. And then we got that statement from Barr, the 4-page letter, 2 or 3, 4 hours later.
Right.
And the next morning at the opening of business, there's a letter on his desk from Robert Mueller. I mean, Mueller was on this immediately, okay? I mean, Mueller was on this the guy who just checked his banking app and there's money that got spent that he doesn't know about. Oh my God, I'm calling the bank right now. I mean, I'm not doing anything else until this is handled. And then Barr sits there today and says, well, it kind of looks like one of these aides, making bullshit. I mean, this was more serious than what people are saying. And I think you can read into that the fact that Mr. Mueller didn't just pass this off the way everyone is acting like. He was serious about this. He basically said what you were saying. It's not my job to take this to a court of law because that's not really where we're going here. I've written this report. I'm going to withhold judgment, but the evidence is clear. I'd like to hand it over to you, the House of Representatives in the United States Senate. And the interference that's been run since that point is perhaps not illegal, but is goddamn downright scandalous, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. And the thing we're trying to say, Tony, is that you're trying to say, well, shouldn't we believe our government and so on? Well, I've never felt that you can necessarily believe your government. Your government is out to tell you what they want you to think and what they want you to know, and it doesn't matter whether it's Democrats or Republicans. Okay? Yes, Charlene.
Oh, okay, because you said Charlene, and I've been since 3 Joshes ago.
Oh, I see. Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. But I just want to say, don't let me speak a little because I'm the only vagina here. Okay, so I've got a bunch of men here, and I'm the only one little girl here. So, I think it's like Nero. Wasn't Nero one of the worst emperors of Rome? Nero fiddled while Rome burned. Like that's what we've got going on here, and he's in there, and Josh mentioned a whole bunch of times before he froze about the system of government and everything. Now we definitely have a broken system of government now that this is proved. Gun control has to come in, and we have to change the electoral college. We have to work on the 3 systems and the way they check and balance.
I will disagree with you on one thing, Charlene. You're saying you're bringing up guns and you're bringing up the electoral college, 2 things which are constitutionally mandated. Isn't the electoral college in the Constitution somehow? Somewhere?
Yeah, we can't eliminate that without an amendment.
Right, but that's in my. No, I didn't get it.
If we had a wish list, we would do away with the Electoral College, and if we had a wish list, we'd do away with several other things.
But there's nothing we can do. That's what I was trying to say
unfortunately, we have this, and
we can't do anything about the way everything is going.
Pardon me, Josh, and you might disagree with me on this, but the fact of the matter is that the Constitution really needs another look at.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant to say, Alex. Thank you.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but we don't look at it. We always treat it like this absolutely hallowed document that can do no wrong, and we made a couple of mistakes.
But Alex,
did we need why do we need a constitutional amendment that say that people could be non-discriminated against because of race? Why did we write one against drinking and then write another one saying it was okay to drink again? If it's such a perfect document, why is it fucked up?
That,
And then that Second Amendment is so badly written, we've been arguing over what the fuck it means in the first place.
Well, it was written in a vastly different time, and the people at the time didn't have as many issues as we do with certain areas, but they did with others. So the times changed. But by saying that, I'm helping make your point that it was written in a certain time, and we now live in a different one, and a fresh coat of paint may be necessary. And I don't really know how many changes I'm in favor of, but I will never deny that I'm in favor of taking a look at it. No harm can.
Can I say ditto to that, Josh? Because you express yourself really well, so a ditto from me, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we should change it. We've had 27 amendments, I think. But the thing is, we haven't really had one for quite some time. They kind of seem to have came in rashes, and a good bit of those were done in two swipes. The first 10 in the Bill of Rights, and all the others have tended to come out of some sort of crisis situation, like the election of 1800 led to the 12th Amendment, and then later on, you had the Civil War amendments, basically, that everyone would call them. Where you had a rash of amendments to rectify wrongs. But hey, there's nothing wrong with taking a look at it. I often think that if the framers could awake from the dead, they'd be a little bit surprised that we have kept some of their original framework. And if anyone were to complain to them about something like the Second Amendment, they would just shrug their shoulders and say, well, then fix it.
Can I ask Josh, when was the last
framework's there? Fix
How
it.
did he call
Right.
it a rash of amendments? What like year? Give me like a year or decade or something.
For which ones?
Changing. What did you just say? The rash of changes, or
Well, I'm just saying that most of our amendments have come in, spurts.
like slavery.
Several at one time.
Civil
What
War.
was the
era.
last?
Yeah.
What was the last one?
I think the last one was in like 1990, like was it 90 or 92, the 27th, which actually was there. You can look this one up because there's a really interesting story behind that one. The last amendment was.
I can't. Go ahead.
The last amendment was the one to prohibit Congress from basically from giving themselves a raise and it taking effect in that term. We made it where if they vote to give themselves a raise, it can't take effect until the next term. So the voters have the right to look at it and say, no, you can't give yourself this raise. We vote you out. That amendment was actually proposed way, way back in like the 1790s, and never got around to being passed. And in the late 80s, I believe, a graduate student dug it up and realized that like 15 or 20 states had actually, gave passage for this amendment, and they just needed a couple more. And he wrote a college paper and got a movement started. The anniversary of that, like the 25th or something, or the 30th. I can't remember when it was not that long ago. Maybe last year. The guy was on C-SPAN. He was interviewed by Brian Lamb and all that kind of stuff. It's a really interesting story behind it, but we hadn't had one before that for quite a while either. So yeah, we're probably about due.
I mean, 18-year-old vote, 71. Before
yeah,
that.
right. Yeah, exactly.
We have to
So it's about time.
We have to address money in politics.
Yeah.
Follow the money.
I mean,
No, Citizens United was a
if
trap.
all government, I guess this is like a political science discussion, but if all government derives from the people, the way that Americans, believe, especially, Republicans who are all in love with Jefferson, etc. If all government derives from the people and all power derives from the people and the system is broken, are the people not to blame and not the government? I mean, in a truly, democratic system and in a truly, patriotic system, the way that we all believe that we have, I mean, if all the power, is from the people and the system is broken and things are not working, then to me, if they're the root of all power, then they're the root of all failure. I mean, in my opinion.
If you believe it.
That's the problem. People aren't the root of all power.
Right. If you believe that the people really do have the power and not money.
Yeah.
In
Right.
Texas, they were making sure I couldn't vote. They kept trying that every time I tried to vote.
Really?
Yeah.
They were against people missing toes.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you were black in Texas, you had to jump through all kinds of hoops to be able
Like
to
a
vote.
Jim Crow thing, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I can say I lived in Texas. I never had any trouble voting. Oh, wait a minute, I'm white. Yeah.
But so I guess Barr is not going to appear before the House committee tomorrow. Was the last I'd heard a few hours ago before I started watching the baseball game. I mean, my understanding is he had such a good time today that he decided once was enough. He's not coming back tomorrow.
And they should just be able to subpoena him, bring him in.
I'm sure that's what they're going to do. See, that's where you get into a crisis, because if they do, he's going to defy the subpoena, right? And then, I mean,
contempt of Congress.
Well, Mike,
right.
Look, I have a little question.
Lock him up.
I have a little question to ask here, and that is, why doesn't he want to come by tomorrow? I mean, what what is wrong with speaking to Congress? It's that he doesn't want to because he's coming perilously close to contempt of Congress and to lying to Congress.
Yeah.
And I
They
don't
can
think he
prove
wants.
that.
I don't think he wants to catch himself in that quagmire. And so, if he doesn't talk to Congress tomorrow, there's less of a chance because they may have gotten him on a few things today. As a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris
there are
had him
some
going.
cases where he
Yeah, she did.
lie.
Hmm? What did Kamala?
Well, and I think
Wait,
that
wait a
that
minute. Hold on a
was the
second.
big issue.
What did Kamala Harris do with him? Because I didn't watch the whole thing. I was too busy being depressed
I
about
just
something.
caught the 2 pieces of it, but she had him on the boards.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable.
Well, I believe that she asked, has the president or any high-ranking official inside of the White House asked you to ever open an investigation into anyone? And I mean, she had to repeat the question in, a different wording 2 or 3
he
different
said,
times.
Did you suggest? Did you infer? Did
Yeah.
You, yeah.
Right, and we never really got an answer, and he had a seriously uncomfortable look about him the entire time. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. I kept waiting for him to do like Phil and make a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know about all that, but did you hear the one about the guy that walked into the bar? Because that's a really interesting story. I mean, it was just waiting for him to break out something like that because he looked very uncomfortable. Because I mean, he's obviously sitting there and he's thinking, well, yes, but I can't say that, So what can I say other than yes? And well, there's nothing else that you can say that's not a lie, and he probably didn't want to do that, so he was pretty screwed.
If Barr would have made a joke about Gabnet Bucks, we'd have known right away.
Yeah.
Imagine his phone rings. I got a call from Phil Meyer. Hold on. What should I say, Phil? Say nothing.
Well,
say absolutely nothing.
I heard something today, and I think it was from Phil, if I'm not mistaken, Tony, that you actually think Trump's doing a good job.
I don't want you to go crazy. I actually think the economy's doing good, and the market.
That's in spite of Trump.
Apple went crazy today. They may broker a deal with China. Tim Cook is happy.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with Trump?
Well, I mean, I thought the economy would tank the market under him, and I'm really quite surprised.
Give it time.
How many here would say that maybe the fact that the market, you see, to begin with, Tony, don't think that because the market's good, the economy is good. The market is not the economy, okay? And I got to tell you, if things are better all the way around, I ain't feeling it.
I gotta say this, Tony. I think it's easy to get caught up in. I'm doing okay. Therefore, a president who lies, who has no credibility, who knows what he's doing to us in the world stage,
and touches and I might add, touches a few pussies while he's at it.
The ends. Do the ends justify the means?
Economy-wise.
Do the ends justify? Do we live in a country where the ends justify the means? You can be as underhanded. You can lie and cheat and have the White House tell false. How many thousands of lies? If that's okay, just because we have a good stock market.
I mean,
I don't know. That's not the United States.
I don't have an answer for that because I really get the sense that I really never trusted anybody. I really didn't take much stock in the presidency. I really don't. I didn't like them. I really haven't really liked many presidents other than Carter. And I remember watching Janet Reno use her power on Microsoft trying to break up a company which she has no business doing.
Oh, she absolutely had a business. She absolutely had a business to do it.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And I'll tell you why.
Make a name for herself.
Are you going to listen?
I'm not going to care though. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, then I better. Then why should I? Then why should I say it? Why, tell him, Rob. Tell him why she broke up Microsoft.
It was a monopoly. We don't allow those kinds of things to happen in this country. It is not about a state-run. It's about fair play. It's about an equal opportunity. You can't just have a monopoly on things.
Well, she never
and
broke the
Trump tried
company
to
up,
pull
though.
that. The Trump administration tries to pull that when they like with Amazon, because he's got a bone to pick. It's not about doing it for the right reasons. It's about doing it for a political reason, because he uses he's that kind of guy. He's a
Okay,
fighter.
okay, but
But I have to
but
say,
wait a minute, wait a minute, hold on a
because she
second.
never broke up
Hold-
Microsoft
hold-
stock.
No,
She wanted to break the stock up into two separate companies. It didn't get rid
What
of
you're
software,
wrong
and
about,
she failed.
Tony.
So that means she was
Tony,
wrong.
you're looking at all the reasons. None of the reasons why Microsoft was asked to split
Because they
themselves
wanted
up.
Netscape on the desktop, and he's like, "This is my operating
That
system."
was
and I don't
one
have to put it on the
example
desktop.
of using your bully pulpit and using your business pulpit in order to undermine another company. And may I ask you this question now, Tony? Where is Netscape today?
Out of business.
And why is it out of business?
Well, because you know what? Because they couldn't survive. Who was going to pay for a browser when everybody else was giving it away for free?
They weren't
And he
paying.
couldn't get on
Wait
the
a minute.
desktop.
You're wrong, Tony. Nobody paid for
Yeah,
Netscape.
Alex, if that's
Wait a
the
minute.
question,
No.
why didn't
Hey,
Apple
hey,
put it
hold
on
on
the
a second, Tony. Nobody
Here's the
paid.
question. Can I put it to you?
Tony,
You like
Tony,
Apple so much.
Tony, nobody.
It's not on Netscape's
Tony, will you
desktop.
listen to me? Tony, Netscape didn't cost a penny.
Yeah, but you know what? No, you could. I bought it in the store if you wanted to buy the essentials.
Years
For
and
the
years
top
and
10,
years
buy
and
that.
years ago, right?
Oh, I wish to buy it in the box, $40.
Right, years and years and years ago, but it became free. And the problem was because Microsoft was putting theirs in the operating system.
I didn't use Internet Explorer. I supported Netscape, but I bought the browser
You're
for
not.
40,
Will
50
you
bucks.
listen to what Rob has to say, please?
Just trying to say that you're not giving. Microsoft had an unfair advantage by putting Internet Explorer on the Windows desktop system, because how many Windows desktops are there?
Can I say one thing though? You guys love Apple so much. How come Apple has a closed software system? How come Netscape couldn't go on their system? Ask Steve Jobs to put Netscape on his desktop. He never would have did it.
You could put there's no more Netscape.
You think Jobs would have let Netscape on his desktop? No way.
It was a very different time. Apple didn't have any power.
To begin with, Tony, Microsoft never had the power. Apple never had the power. Microsoft was a small company in comparison to Apple. Apple was a small company in comparison to Microsoft. You know, so it was very hard for, at least in those days, Apple to do anything that was antitrust. Today, in the phone business, there is a question of antitrust in many situations with Apple.
Remember also, it's not so much about the browser itself. It's about the precedent that sets. So if Microsoft decides to go out, because they have all these Windows desktops, right? If they decide they want to put, I don't know, pick something else that you want to put on your desktop. If you allow Microsoft to put it there, then everybody else won't have a chance outside of browsers.
Charlene has something she wants to say. Charlene?
Well, I kind of have a question and a statement. You know how I am. But, like, I thought it was like a hardware, software. Like, you couldn't have a monopoly on hardware and software. I'm wrong, or I'm totally out of...
Well, I guess it all depends who's in power and they want to flex their muscle.
Well, of
That's
course.
a political shakedown, really, I think. She lost.
Not that I know anything, but something in my head said that there was like a monopoly with owning hardware and software. Like, you can't do that or something.
Well,
I'm
the
wrong,
thing
right?
was, Charlene, is that Apple was basically a hardware company that made its own software, proprietary software for its hardware. Microsoft was never really a hardware company. It was completely a software company. That's why it made its billions of dollars, because when you print up a program like, Windows, and now you go to the next Windows and you got a bunch of them still in the warehouse, it doesn't matter. They're just fucking disks. They're not hardware. Then, and when you have a Apple and it's not selling, then you got a bunch of hardware that you got in your warehouse. So that's why Microsoft never was a hardware company until the Xbox, and now they're doing some laptops and things like that. But basically, they've always been a software company. And what they did, here's what they did. When they did the the whole thing with the browser. I understood it to a certain extent. I defended their right to put their browser on the desktop and to integrate it into the operating system so that, for instance, if you wanted to find a file on your computer, you could just use the browser to find it, all right? You couldn't do that by a third party like Netscape, but the fact was they were preventing Netscape from being on their platform, and that was the problem. And as a result, Netscape doesn't exist today.
But if it's your operating system, you don't have to put anything on you don't want. I wouldn't want somebody's on. If it's my operating system, I'm not going to put you on.
Well, if you have 90% of the market, you
want
have.
them on.
Wait a minute.
If it's free, then they can go to the web and download.
You're just trying to. You're not listening. When you are a when you have 90%, you know you're not listening. You're talking when I talk. When you have 90% of a market share, you better be sure that you can be very easily capable of antitrust, and you have to watch out for it. Right,
I agree
Rob?
with that.
Rob?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a power position, right? And they squeeze everybody out. There would be no software vendors out there anymore. It would be Microsoft. And that's not even the case with Apple today. That's not the case with Apple. I have a Chrome. I never use Safari.
See, that's perfect. I don't use Internet Explorer. So if you really fast forward 20 years later, Netscape is irrelevant now because you know what? You still have Internet Explorer.
But you know who the new.
You have Google Chrome, which is free.
But you know who the new.
Give it away for free and make your money on advertising.
But you know who? Do you know who the new monopoly is, Tony?
Who's that?
The new monopoly?
Who?
Google.
Well, that's.
And Facebook is another monopoly.
They just come.
And there is talk of breaking them up.
How is Facebook a monopoly?
Because
I think Patrick has something.
Just by sheer numbers of people who have Facebook. Okay, that's the reason.
But don't you think that's a slippery slope?
Wait a minute. Look, we've got Patrick. Patrick.
Would you kindly shut Jeff off? His wife was just in her skivvies and walked by.
Oh,
is he asleep?
Oh,
what's going on there?
Jeff, are you there?
He's asleep, maybe.
Oh, Jeff's asleep.
My mother was yelling to go to bed.
Jeff.
He's snoozing.
in her underwear.
Snoozing a little there. Yeah.
But it was just like underwear, right? It wasn't like.
But then it was a bra and yes, it was just.
Okay, now I gotta watch the replay. Definitely.
Oh my God, this is like all rated.
Did Patrick?
I saw her walk by in back of him, but he is asleep, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing slammies for a few minutes.
Well, I know what it's all about, because I'm getting old myself.
I've got to say, as somebody who's fallen asleep on the show, I mean, he's very quiet too. So, sometimes when you get stuck like that, you go to sleep. Like if you talk a little bit more, you don't go to sleep.
I mean, I could shout, but I don't think it would wake him up.
No, it doesn't. He would have woken up.
Yeah.
If he would have heard us.
Wake up, Jeff.
Wake up, Jeff. Jeff, wake up.
Is he okay?
Well, I
We'll
almost thought he
wake up.
was rising
1,
there.
2, 3. Jeff, you'll wake up. We'll wake up.
Jeff.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
God.
Oh my God, Patrick, you're right. Oh my God.
What happened?
Oh, he's gonna be really bad.
I think she realizes.
Might be dreaming of Trump.
I know what I have to do here. Hold on a second.
Hang up. You have to hang up.
Well, it's not a matter of hanging up. It's a matter of doing something else. Hold on.
Edit? I hope you can edit.
No. Here we go. Hold
Time for
on
the
a
logo.
second. There we go. Now.
How'd you do that?
Huh?
You could control the light in someone's. How did you do that?
Because I can blank out one of the feeds. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I mean, for the
think you
time
might be
being,
upset.
all we got was
like Jeff.
underpants, right?
Yes. Oh boy. Oh boy.
I thought Patrick had something to say, like he was going
I
to.
thought you
One of
were
our
looking
one
at
of our
my
people
book.
on the in the
Thank you,
cha-
Patrick.
one of our
That gotta
people
be
in the
fair.
chat room just said Jeff's wife is stacked.
I know the numbers, Alex.
I'm gonna
I
wheel
hate
my
to be
mother
like
out
that
here.
making jokes. Did the numbers go way up?
She's waking him up now.
Is she
Uh-oh.
waking him up?
Maybe she heard.
Okay, because you guys can see
Oh.
what's going on there,
Yeah,
right?
wake up.
Oh, is he awake now?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Is he awake? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Here comes
Yeah, he's
Bree.
awake now.
Here comes Bree. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Panel. Let me see here. Bree. Let me see here. 9 and Bree is Bree. What's it? What's the name he uses? Darth Pat. No. I haven't. Is Bree there? Are you there, Bree? Bree? Okay, I guess he's not there, so I can't bring him in. Okay. Anyway, is Jeff? Are you awake now?
Yeah, I'm just off.
Yeah. Well, you were asleep there for a while. In fact,
wow.
you're kind of in the dark.
Yeah, it's 3:00 in the morning now.
Do we need to tell him
Welcome
what? Do we need to tell him what happened?
Tell him we're arguing.
Huh?
He missed the argument over Netscape, tell him.
Yeah.
Trump's still president if it means
Yeah,
anything.
your wife was.
that's
Your
true.
wife was walking in the background, kind of without. Well, she had clothes on, but
Some of them.
just barely.
Serious.
Yeah. So anyway, turn on the light so we can see you, Jeff. Yeah, you were asleep there for a while, and then your wife kept walking back and forth, and everybody was afraid that, well, your wife was going to be okay. Is Bree on now? Okay.
Gabnet's going to get raided.
Really? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me see
I have to
here.
watch that.
YouTube.
Bree. Hog Rider? No. I don't see Bree on the list here. Son of a bitch. What's happening with Bree?
It says here Bree started a call.
Yeah, I think he's using an old one.
Yeah, it did say Bree started the call. Just flash.
Huh.
I like Skype.
Yeah, well, I don't see Bree, so I can't bring him in. I would like to, but I can't.
I don't think he's on. He's trying to get on.
He's trying to get on. Okay, there he is again. Now I do that. Okay, is Bree on? Bree missed call. Huh. Bree, you're trying to call, but we can't seem to get you.
I think I see him trying to make a call from an old. Yeah, he's making a call from an old list.
An old list? Is that it?
Oh, that's probably, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, I can see it. It says not working.
I can't. Here we go. Bree.
You
Huh?
gotta do it from the contacts.
Tune in, do Gabnet Live. Okay, now he's calling, and now I answer it, and it says, Bree missed call. Every time I pick you up, Bree, it doesn't answer you. So I can't do anything about it, Bree. I wish I could.
Alex,
Yeah.
you've been saying, like, with me too, like, if we put our names in something, it makes it easier for you to find us. Like, if it doesn't have a wacko name or something, like, if it has just, my name, it's better for you. Like,
It says,
I'll try to do that if I
it
can.
says Bree missed call. Huh. I really have no idea. Let me try calling him. Let me see here. There we go. There's Bree. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Bree, are you there? No? Okay, Bree, quit trying. It's not working. He says, I'll try tomorrow. Yeah, I don't know what your
He
problem
might be
is.
something else.
Yeah, anyway.
I'm in a different location
Yeah,
today.
yeah. I'll tell you, the thing is that, so what I'm trying to say, Tony, and I'm trying to be respectful about this, is that what happened with Microsoft, here's what happens. Correct me if I'm wrong. What was that noise again? Is that you, Jeff? Or who is it? That scraping?
Yeah, it sounds like it's like a.
Is it you? Is it you, Josh? Maybe I don't know.
Shouldn't be. I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
Don't blame me either. I think I'm okay.
I don't know. It's the magical hissing noise. Anyway, here's the point. What happens with companies, especially at Microsoft, is they were once a small little company fighting for life out in Seattle, and they get a little bigger and a little bigger and a little bigger. And one day they're so big they don't know they're so big. And they still keep operating competitively the way they were competitively acting before they became so big. And that's what happened to Microsoft. They didn't really realize how big they had gotten. Is that a good way of explaining it, Rob?
Yeah, and I think I don't agree with Tony saying that that Microsoft won that. They lost that.
Well, they
Janet
tried.
Reno.
Their stocks did take a hit for a long time after that.
No,
They
no,
never
not
broke the
just-
company up.
Well, they did break the company up.
No, they traded under one stock. They wanted to actually break them like the Bell. Remember the Bell phone companies? They broke them
No,
up.
but
a lot.
I think they did.
Bell.
I think they did break off certain parts of the company, and other people
They
took
might.
them
I'm
on.
not 100% sure.
I'm-
You could be right.
Am I right,
But you know
Rob?
what I'm
Hold
trying
on
to
a
say?
second. Hold on a
I
second.
just- yeah.
Rob, am I right?
I believe so. I believe
There were
so.
some
I'm not
parts
an
of the
expert.
company they had to divest themselves of.
Yeah, they had to stopping companies like Netscape from existing. And
I mean, I
giving-
like Netscape. They were good.
Well, I mean, whether you like them or not, I mean, I at the time was using Internet Explorer because it was there and it was simple, but I got away from it because it was a shitty browser. It didn't adhere to any of the Internet HTML standards. They had their own standard. And then out came some of these other browsers like Firefox and
Mozilla, right.
How did Chrome get
Which
so big?
basically Firefox is an offshoot of Netscape, I think. Mozilla.
Yeah. Anything that says Mozilla is a
Is
is a
Netscape. Yeah, that was their code.
offshoot. Yeah.
You know
But
what?
at
Like,
least
what
those
scares me,
adhere
Alex,
to
when
the
Congress
standards.
gets involved too much with their tentacles. That's what scares me.
Well, I mean, that's what they were trying to stop when they did the antitrust against Microsoft. And by the way, don't feel sorry for Bill Gates, okay?
No, but he is a good humanitarian. I like him, though.
Today,
Well, he turned out to be a good humanitarian. I mean, somebody said a few years back, who would have thought that when push came to shove, it was going to be Gates that was going to be the humanitarian and not Jobs?
Jobs
You
is a
know,
horrible
because
choice.
Jobs in his company is so touchy-feely and, all those things. So, yeah.
It is interesting.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I have one item I pulled out here, and I can't even remember what it was, so let me go get it. Okay. Did you hear about this husband of a reality star who killed their dog?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
Wait,
purpose?
I thought Wendy Williams had a dog thing. I'm wrong. It's not reality.
No. This is David Eason, the husband of Teen Mom 2
I've
star
seen Mom.
Janelle
Teen
Evans.
Mom, I watch it.
Yeah. Well, wait a
I know
minute.
what-
Wait, listen to me.
Sorry.
Jesus
Sorry.
Christ.
At least
It-
I'm not
Oh
sleeping.
boy. Can I?
All right. Knock it off.
And
Take
he
time.
admitted shooting his dog. He later posted a video on Instagram showing the dog nipping at their 12-year-old daughter, Ensley. Along with the video, Eason posted a message: I don't give a damn what animal bites my baby on the face, whether it be your dog or mine. A dog is a dog, and I don't put up with that shit at all. I'm all about protecting my family. It's my life's mission. Some people are worth killing or dying for, and my family means that much to me. You can hate me all you want, but this isn't the first time the dog bit her aggressively. The only person that can judge whether or not an animal is a danger to my child is me. How do you feel about that?
I mean, he couldn't give it away. I mean, come on.
Can I say
So it could bite
something? I
another
watched
kid's
that show.
face? What?
Well,
Yeah?
the DIFUS, the child welfare, is always after that guy. He's the one that they won't film him anymore because he made homophobic and he's a gun nut. He's like a nutcase, and she left him after he killed the
Well, you
dog.
guys are all crashed.
And they're going to investigate her too because she pulled a gun in a traffic stop. She played road rage with someone and pulled a pistol out. They're always in trouble. with child
I think,
welfare and
Charlene,
stuff.
we just found out you watch these shows, don't you?
Well, I have a kid, and I should be on Teen Mom with him. because he's just like those people on Teen Mom, and it helps me a lot to see that all this is going on everywhere.
Yeah.
I like that show because I feel like I should be on it with him. I had DNA issues and all that. I should have been on Maury Povich. It's a long story. You don't want
I know,
to know.
Maury.
So
No
sorry.
one's
At least I'm not snoozing.
Yeah. You haven't been snoozing lately. They had got you on some meds or something?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I try to do something to move around, and I try to interject a little because, as I said, as someone who has fallen asleep there many times, sometimes it gets to you, and it's
Wait,
like white noise or something, and you
hold on
can't
a
fall
second.
asleep when you just be quiet.
Patrick has his hand up. Hello, Patrick.
Yeah, with regard to shooting a dog, I would have shot the fucking dog too, or killed it one way or the other, because once an animal attacks like that aggressively, you don't give it a second or a third or fourth fucking time. It's your kid, your grandkid, whatever it is, that's more important than a dog. A dog is an animal, and we love them and all of that, but you know what? My kid's more important than a fucking dog. So.
Yeah. Well,
Alex, can I interrupt again?
yeah, sure.
There's another reality show. This big blonde with a wig, and she married a football player. It's a spin-off of the ATL. I don't watch a lot of them, but I like to know about these things, Alex, too, because some people talk about it. I know you don't, but so that guy, the dog, I forget his name. It was like Devil or Evil or something, and they liked him a lot. He was like a stray that they took from the shelter. He mangled the whole kid's eyeball, and he went through a whole thing about whether they should destroy him or something. So he decided that they're not going to destroy the animal, but now they keep it totally away from the kid. They didn't destroy it, but they separated it. I'm just saying that's what's on that show, because there was another incident of something like that where he didn't do what I would do what you did too, but I'd get in trouble maybe now in this day and age that you can't shoot. Yeah, it's like a lion,
Jeff,
right?
Jeff,
Okay.
Jeff, any
Right?
opinion about
Should
this?
you shoot it or not?
Okay,
Right? Yeah.
all
No, I
right.
have no idea about this dog thing.
Yeah.
But my son has a dog that nobody likes.
Yeah, I don't like
He
the.
likes it, but the
We don't
dog
like the
doesn't
dog,
like it.
so fuck him. Fuck the dog.
I
Yes, Patrick.
Arlene, shooting a
Yes,
dog,
Patrick.
shooting a dog that's attacking a kid is not like shooting a lion. Just so you
It's
know.
like self-defense, right?
Tim-
Anyway, you're
Oh,
shooting a gorilla or a rhino, or it's called. You're
Well, that's what they said about the lion. He was just being a lion. A lion that's very rare just killed one of the zookeepers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they decided it was just being a lion, and they didn't put it to death or anything. They
Yeah,
left it alone.
well, to begin with, he didn't ask to be brought to that zoo for
No.
crying out loud, But anyway, it's getting to be about that time. If I just
Time to go.
hit that button there, that's kind of the end of it all. I want to thank. It's been a good night tonight. Gee, I wonder what was missing. Oh well.
Even because I was there.
Anyway, Charlie, thank you. Charlene, thank you. Jeff, tell your wife she looks lovely.
Yes.
oh boy.
Josh, always great to hear from you. You're the professor. And of course, there's Rob and there's Tony. Love you, Tony, even though it sounds like you're slowly becoming and turning into a horrible Republican. Patrick, you are a good Republican, and it's always nice to have you here. And of course, Kevin, always great to have you around as well. It's Christmas 365 days a year when you're on. Everybody, why don't you give a big wave goodbye, okay? And I'll wave back. And that'll be it for tonight, okay? All right. Anyway, let me see here. Let me hang up on everybody so I can, let's see here. And I'll turn off that, and I'll get rid of that. And that's all she wrote for tonight. Next, you got The Intersection with Jack Bishop. That's next, and you should stick around and call him, okay? And then I'll be back again tomorrow, probably with the new machine back up and the newer machine up and running. But this one ran so well tonight, I can't believe it. Maybe I shouldn't do anything. And I'm just asking for trouble, right? Anyway, tomorrow night, 9:30, it's Damian Chaplin, The Exchange. And then immediately following that at 10 Eastern Daylight Time, I'll be back here. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.